Welcome, and or welcome back to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best. We have our co-host James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. Link is in the description. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We are here to go over the Housewives of Beverly Hills. This episode is titled Sweet Home Augusta, season 14, episode 10. We are let me tell y'all, Sutton's mother is definitely the old South.
Yes.
In every worst way
Oh
that
my
it could
God.
possibly be. Um, we gonna get into Sutton's
I was
mom.
not ready, y'all. But I told you I was texting Mrs. Best. I said, Mama Sutton is too much. She too much. I was not ready, y'all. I was watching this literally just waking up from my sleep from, getting home from work. I was like, wait, I'm not ready. I got to rewatch it.
She was a lot. I was like, what the heck? So we start the episode with Garcelle going to Sutton's house, and this is where she gets invited to Augusta to meet her mom. And we have seen Sutton's mom on the show, I believe, twice before, way earlier in her earlier seasons as a housewife. But Garcelle is immediately concerned because she knows, because they have an actual real friendship on and off camera, that Sutton and her mom do not have the best relationship. And Sutton confirms that they've had issues for about over a decade, and it's due to her mom not expressing that she's proud of the accomplishments that Sutton has made without her husband. The mom seems to praise the ex-husband, and the relationship is warped. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that scene, just because once we meet the mom, there's so much more. Hi, Dr. Jen, Augusta, Georgia. Dr. Jen is laughing. She said, I'm Athens, Georgia, and Augusta is like one half away. I used to live in Augusta back in 2010.
Okay, so you from Athens where Nene and Phaedra from. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Jen. I got you.
Dr. Jen has been everywhere. I love that. I love that. I really want to go to Georgia. I like how y'all got big houses, lots of land, and it's not like California where you got to have over $1 million and a hope and a prayer.
Right.
Um, I love that. I love the South. Uh, but yeah, we did see Bose go see Dorit, and Bose can dress. Bose understands, and her makeup artist
Yes.
understand how to do makeup on darker skinned and darker complexioned woman. It is a talent.
Mhm.
It is a skill. Bose has that down. I love her vibe. But
I just wish she would get that hair together. That's the only thing.
it's always, don't it look heavy,
I mean,
Jane?
it looked like a heavy ass helmet.
Her
Girl,
and Tambra could have a sumo wrestle fight.
ooh, I'm telling you. Because that hair is it's too much. It Those take at least 2 or 3 bundles out them wigs just to make it. Oh gosh, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you are totally fine. That's why we're here, because her neck is her neck is going through it. 30 packs of synthetic hair. That's what it is too. It looks synthetic. You could
It
tell
looks
it's,
yeah, it does. Yeah.
she took the ponytail that our grandmothers used to put on when they went to church and put it up the top of her head, and then put some mohair to come up under it. Bose needs another hairstylist, and she's got the money. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Bundles for Bose, Lord help her. Hi, Naya. Also, best go to, no, get out of my life. Strong neck. I could not. He's a fool because he right in the next room with the door open, just cracking up at what James said about Bose's hair. I cannot. Rapunzel. Did y'all see? This is not Housewives related. Jada Pinkett Smith went on Twitter or X, whatever it's called, and she said, Kanye West is the craziest person I know. Something along the lines of him being unhinged. And Kanye West commented back to Jada, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your long hair, knowing that she got no hair and is sensitive about her alopecia. I said, Kanye, you're on time out.
Well, Kanye, you just proved her point. Those of us who understand what she just said in that moment, you just proved her point.
He don't care. He
You don't
went.
care. And
He
that's the thing. You not responding would have been the ultimate. Just let America eat her up.
went. Because we don't like her. But I was looking at
No,
that. I
I
said,
love
oh,
Jada. I just don't like how she moving. I love Jada. And to some extent, I understand her. I do. I understand what she's saying. I just wish that it was reciprocated the same way where they both were exposing what each other did versus it just being her. That's all.
I'm gonna say this, girl. If you're not happy, lead a man. Stop coming
I'm
to us
going
and
nowhere.
telling
I
us
wouldn't leave.
everything
I
y'all got
wouldn't leave
going
either.
on.
I wouldn't leave. Well, I wouldn't leave. Yeah, we got crazy ass problems, but I ain't going nowhere.
She said
He
that's
on
real.
time out until I say he can come out. If he want to go, he can go, but I ain't going nowhere. And I
Oh
think that's the
Lord.
problem. He could easily leave the situation as good as she can.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
That's
and the fact that he ain't with nowhere lets me to believe it ain't really that serious. They just are going through it like couples do. That's why I'm saying y'all put too much preference on it just being her.
see, we need to get James to do more
I
unpopular
want
opinion.
to, but I'm telling y'all, I'm cussing everybody out. The first person, I'm telling you, y'all not ready for this live. So yes, but we'll do it one day.
You should. You should. You should. So Bo sees Dorit. They discuss PK again. Talk about it when you in court. Talk about it when there's custody. I'm getting tired of hearing about it. It's the same thing with Dorit, and it seems like she's still doing the same shit she does every season. She wants to talk about herself, dominate the conversation, and have people feel sorry for her or look up to her. And I'm over it. I haven't forgot the selfishness of Dorit, the lies that Dorit tells, the microaggressions, the racism, the disloyalty. Like I have not given that. I agree with you, DM Rocks, and we're gonna get into that as soon
Mm-hmm.
as we get there. And I think Garcelle knew it and peeped it, and we're gonna talk about it
Mm-hmm.
because it's very clear, especially coming from Georgia. Is she over 80 years old? No, she is. She is. She got to be. Uh, but yeah, Dorit, I don't really care about PK being unpredictable. File, what happened to the therapist and the trauma you have from the house? What happened to that, Dorit? Like, why are we still talking about this? That man don't want you, which I was glad Erica told her at the end. But Bose goes on a date with Keely, and I know James is going to have a mouthful for this man. She goes on a date with Keely, who is the man that I guess that's her boyfriend, but I don't really want to call him that because he don't always be acting like that consistently. But okay, Bose, I'll call him your boyfriend, girl. Um, they're not on the same page. So Bose came to us and was like, she likes Keely. But she also did say she had a long distance relationship with someone because of traffic, because these people can afford the private jets and the 15-minute flights it takes to get from LA to San Diego. So I'm looking at them already like, there's stuff off. But we're thinking that Bose is getting her fibroids removed so that she can prepare her body to be able to give Keely a child at 47 plus years of age. And it turns out that Keely doesn't really want to rush into it like that at all. But then at the same time, Bose is like, do you not understand how a uterus works? Like, I could be premenopausal right now. He didn't seem to care. And I'm like, wait a second, what changed? Before he seemed all into her. And then now he seemed like reluctant to do things. And I'm like, is he the type of dude that'll talk real sweet to you and then give you some good dick and then suddenly change up how he actually is? Because it didn't make sense. I saw several red flags in that discussion between the two of them. Because if they both got money to be going back and forth, why don't you, Bose, get your surgery, go see a fertility specialist, do the IVF, let them take the egg out of you and go freeze it? So that when you are ready, since he wants to have a child with his own DNA, you can use a surrogate or try, if you're still able to get pregnant, to implant an egg with his sperm into you. She's acting like she has to do all of that. She does, DM Rock. She needs to run away from him. I got so many red flags. So I'm going to let James take the floor now.
The first red flag was the shirt he was wearing. That was the first red flag right there. I didn't need to see or hear anything else. That was the first red flag there because that was quite a shirt, sir. I got one just like it. And we know how I get down. So, yeah, that was first red flag. Bose, you were giving Stacey Rush. You are giving Stacey Rush. You just a smart one, and you picking up on things. And I know you was out there just calculating the math, sitting at that table, because you was doing part of the equation coming out your mouth. I want you
Mhm.
to understand something here, ma'am. This man ain't talked about no future plans. He ain't talked about if he gonna move to LA with you or you gonna move to San Diego with him. He
Mm.
ain't talked about when y'all should get married, if that is the plan, because you said you would like to be married first before you have children. You're 47, you ain't got that much time. And then five, do you know if he's the one or not? Do you really feel like he's the one? I know he gave you sweet gestures and cute little dates and stuff, but intellectually, is he really the one? Because it does not give that kind of energy. It's
Mm.
given he want to be seen, and you giving him the platform to be seen.
Yep. Yep. I
So
agree.
I'm trying to figure out what is really going on here. And first of all, I hate to age shame people. I really do. But because I'm a biology major and I know how anatomy works, you ain't got much, as you said yourself, you ain't got that much time. So how much more time do you need to get this man for him to get the clue? I, is a bit highlight a bit say when it's comment right here.
Yeah. The smartest, most beautiful women let the dumbest men make fools of them.
Thank
It's true.
you.
Just because you're
Yes.
smart in your field of work or field of study, if you went to school, just because you're good at things outside of relationships, doesn't mean that you will transfer that same intelligence or emotional maturity to dating people
Mm-hmm.
in general. And Bose is the perfect example of that because this guy, he was, where's Naya's flags? This guy was a total red flag. And James, you brought up, I think, you said it so much better in a way that I think everyone can understand with this man. Like he has not done the things that a man that's really interested in a woman would do. What we doing? Oh, someone just
Yeah, it's like
crashed.
where is the plan and how are we going to execute it? That is, and I'm surprised at Bose. I really am because I would have thought that would have been what came out of milk. What is your plan? You're the man. You're supposed to lead. It's given she got more money than he do, and
Of
he's
course she does.
intimidated.
Of course
It's
she
given
does.
that.
Because you can only make so much based on the markets and like the businesses that are in San Diego. Most, she definitely makes more than him, is what I'll
No,
say.
and I figured that. That's why I was like, okay, to me, it wouldn't matter. I have a plan. My plan is to get married to who I'm currently with. My plan is to make sure that that person is the one for me and that I watch any red flags that I can find before I jump head first into this. My mind is to one, make sure my career and my goals are in line so that way when the person comes into my life, they don't interrupt or discord me like my
Mm.
last relationship did. So no, there has to be plans, and the fact that that man did not in any way enlighten her on anything he had planned, and y'all talking about kids in the future. No, this is not the relationship, Bose, and I want you to understand that. Like, I hope by the reunion you say you are not with this man, because if you are still with this man, something is definitely wrong, or you just want some arm candy, which,
Let's
ma'am, you could do a whole lot better.
let's get, she can though. Let's get into the comments. She really can. She said, DM Rock said on the after show, Bose and Dorit was really pressed about not getting invited to the Augusta trip.
Why?
We saw that at the table, which we'll discuss a little later in
Right.
the episode when she gave that shady ass toast. Who cares? Who cares? As Sutton said, the trip was meant to be intimate due to the issues and tumultuous relationship she has with her mom. And the way her mama behaved, which we're going to get into soon, I see why she only chose a select number of women in this group. Kyle, even though their toxic friendship is a toxic friendship, when Sutton's house was being worked on, Kyle let Sutton live in her house. They were very close at one point, and we know that her Garcella is one of her best friends, so it made sense to invite who she invited. The Bose needs to realize the more she
To
aligns,
me,
the more to take her down.
let me explain something to y'all real quick. I know we're gonna talk about it, but for me, based on how the mama treated Garcelle, I would have been more offended if she treated Bose in that exact same way.
Hmm. Hmm.
Considering Bose is actually African,
Hmm.
I would, yeah, it would have been a whole different. We would have read that old lady for filth. Like I'm already gonna read her for filth when we get there, but
Yeah,
I could not imagine both Garcelle and Bose being there. I just couldn't imagine it.
that would not have went well.
Yeah, it
Uh,
wouldn't.
she too smart to not have a plan or have said, I love you first before having a baby. Right. I saw that clip for next week. I'm like, why are you talking about having a baby and y'all don't even know if you love each other? You're not
Well,
engaged.
to
You're
me,
not.
I feel like if they're stated in the prospects of goals, like I would love to have children, like, and if this is something that we need to have a future, I need to procure to make sure I can have the baby, something that Sweet Tea should have did before she got married to Greg. I feel like that's what she's trying to do. So I can somewhat understand why that's there, but then I do agree there needs to be some love tackle before I put myself through all of this, what I'm about to go through. So I do agree with that. But then I also can see it from the flip side. Maybe it was just a goal of set in place.
Yeah, that's true. She might not have the time either because she's at that age where she could,
Mm-hmm.
the change go through the change. It's
Yep.
okay to be late. It's okay. Better late than never, right? Welcome in,
Mm-hmm.
Shani. Nia Green says she's also off the cuff of being a widow. It wouldn't have me because dumb. It wouldn't have me because dumb, no, but that's just me. Yeah. I often forget that she is just now dating after being widowed. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A bit state witness said they are no longer together.
Good.
I'm not
Good.
surprised. Good.
Good.
I didn't even like his name,
Yeah.
Keely.
Keely.
Uh,
Yeah.
a bit state witness said that's typical of the older white women in the South, especially where I live. Oh, I know. My entire family's in Louisiana and Mississippi. I know it's a different part of the South, but my experience there when I deal with like um, those older clear people, they still got them same values. There's a lot still going on. I actually worry sometimes for the cousins I have in the sticks. That is how they are. And that's why I was like, Sutton, don't bring her on. Hi, Shayna. Welcome in. And thank you for passing through. I
Hi,
appreciate it.
Shayna. Thank you.
Let's see. The LAX VIP terminal was nice and fancy. It is. It is. It always
Mm-hmm.
is. Shaddy says she's been a widow since her daughter was a baby, and the daughter is like 17. Oh, that's a good point. But that's something you don't ever.
Yeah, I can't take because my stepmom said that she's never going to date again,
Mm,
and I kind of feel like we just gonna give her all the time in the world because yes, that's a long time. But at the same time, I can't tell a widow when she should get back out there and date because some go back as quick as a year, some never do. So yeah, it just
I
depends
feel
on the
the
person.
same way. I think what was the crocodile hunter, Steve Irwin, when he
Hmm.
passed away, his wife actually said, not too recently, but within like the last 5 years in an interview, and she has consistently said since that man passed, and people ask, are you dating? What are you doing? My kids have love. She said, I found my great love. I will never date again. There's some people that feel that way about their partner. If my partner was to go, and I'm a knock on wood, I probably wouldn't date again. I'd probably be using these niggas, but I probably wouldn't want to date again. I just wouldn't. Once you find that, stop laughing at me. Once you find that one good person who like really gets you, who you're just compatible with without the effort, that's you don't want to go through having to get to know what's your favorite color, what's this, what happened to your childhood. Like I don't got time for that again. I'm cool.
Hmm.
Um, she said, and they don't really think anything's wrong with it. It's something to be said about personal peace, especially after you've been married for a long time or you've had a great love. If only Twitch wife was that would listen. That
Um,
lady is something
that lady's
else.
something else. Yeah, she's something else. I don't know how to pick apart her. I really don't, y'all. So don't ask me to do no unpopular opinions about her because I don't know how to pick that apart. I just don't.
Ain't nobody got time for that. They don't.
Right.
Right. At that point, once you find your person, it's like, I'm not doing this again. But I will accept any man that wants to kiss me on the cheek, buy me food, or pay my rent if something was to happen to the husband. But I don't want to be with you. No. Just want your wallet. I found my person. Anywho, so the ladies, oh, wait, we can't get to that yet. We have to talk about Kyle and Mauricio. They go shooting guns together. He eating canned soups and he got eggs in his refrigerator. And she lonely because the kids that she raised grew up and they lived their own life. And she chose to be separated, but now she lonely and seems to be having second thoughts on the separation. Kyle, I could give a flying fuck. James, would you like to add something to the scene with Kyle and Mauricio?
Let me explain something to you. You asked for this. You asked for this, and you won't reveal what he did. So how are we supposed to feel sorry for you? You crying in the scene because you being with your husband in that moment makes you miss who he is. But because you won't tell him that, and because he has to he still knows how to comfort you, he still knows how to be your husband, but for some reason, I don't know what he did, you won't take that man back. I don't know what he did, y'all. He did something. He did something that she's protecting, and she can't let it go, even though he still is being him. He still cares about her. He still wants. I don't know if he wants to be with her or not. I don't know if I'm taking that, but he still has a compassion for her, and maybe that's not enough. But that scene irritated me. It
Yeah.
irritated me because this is what you asked for.
Mm.
So don't get mad if now you have a second thoughts. It's normal. We would not be mad if you took him back. We would not be mad if y'all got back together. We would not be mad.
Listen, that's a good comment. If he wanted her, she would take him back in a heartbeat. I don't think he wants her no more that way.
I don't think he does either, but I was just trying to say she did. She pulled the plug because I think he was fine at home doing whatever he was doing. Like Nia Green's comment right underneath says, I believe it was physically. I believe it was physically and maybe a tad bit emotional. And I don't think it was the first time. I think there's been a few times, allegedly.
You're probably right, though, is the unfortunate part of it all. You are probably right but to me, it's stupid that we even have to like wonder. We shouldn't have to like do all of this just to know what happened.
It
Like
doesn't
you
make
shouldn't.
sense. Like if it made sense, I probably wouldn't be on Kyle like this. If it made sense, all she had to say was, "Look, there was some." Hmm? Oh, all she had to say was, "Look, there was some infidelity. You know, unfortunately, we've been going through it for the last couple of years. I just can't trust him anymore. Like I just can't trust him with my heart because every time he says he gets on a straight and narrow, he just breaks it." That's all she had to say was just that. That's all she had to say was just that. You see how I just said that? All she had to say was just that. Because I do believe that's what it is. I don't believe it was anything else. Hold on. I believe it was said street that he's been cheating through. Yeah, I've heard those rumors. I heard Mauricio was with the singer Anita in Ashford recently. Oh.
My
Okay.
apologies, y'all. I had to step away for a
No, you're good.
moment.
I was just reading your comments. You good.
That's
How
why you're here. Do your
how
job.
is she Real Housewives of Beverly Hills royalty, but we know nothing that is in surface about her marriage?
Preach a word, message in a
Because she
box.
shared everything else outside of the things that really would make her look crazy or make her look anything different than how she looks, which is good. I think that she shares things, and I think she's learned that from season one in the back of that limo with her sister and how we all ate her ass up when she did that. So I think she's learned from that, and from that took that to show up differently. Now we've always seen her support other people who get into it, or always has to be this surface person where we only get the tidbit surface because we know all about Kathy being spoiled and all this. We know all about Kim's addictions and everything like that, but we don't know not a damn thing about Kyle.
That's a good point. That's true. Her sisters are 10 times more open than her. I actually think her bringing her sisters on, and I think James has said this when we met Kathy on our recaps, was not good for her because it will just show us how she's not likable. Kyle would go running back like it was the 100-meter if Mo said, let's get back together. She would. She realizes that she played with the churches. She fucked up the church's pieces of change, is what she did. She thought that she would leave him and could just have him back whenever she wanted, and then he grew tired of it. That man did everything she asked him to do. She wasn't settled. Now he knows what it's like to live without her. She complained about everything, and she's pretentious. I don't blame Mauricio. But we get to this Augusta trip, and Garcelle was disappointed they took a commercial flight because she's like, my best friend's rich as hell. She got me on the red eye commercial flights, and they still, went through some nicer stuff that we regular people don't
I was
always
going
pay
to say,
for.
Garcelle, that looked nice to me.
But these women have a different standard. They have a different standard. But they meet Reba. Of course, that's her name. And that is Sutton's mom, who immediately to me gave off the vibes of somebody who is racist. I think DM Rocks had commented that early in. That lady definitely gives racist vibes, which is expected with old white women in the South. It's a fact. If y'all don't like it and you're a clear person, be mad at your ancestors, not me. Okay. I didn't make y'all do things that they did. Hell. But her mom is a lot. Um, she meets the ladies. Garcelle introduces herself, is very polite, and the mom kind of gave her a cold shoulder, like, yeah, I've heard about you. But when she meets Kyle, she's like, oh, you're so pretty. And I don't know if anybody else peeped it or heard Garcelle say, why didn't she tell me that? Because Garcelle is beautiful. I don't care what color you are. The woman is beautiful in the face, even though her wigs be toe up. She's
See,
still a beautiful woman.
Naya, I wasn't gonna say this because y'all know Sutton my favorite housewife, but Sutton did say Garcella because Sutton, you knew your mama was gonna do this shit.
The comments. Wait, they are standing.
That is not no plan.
Teddy.
That is not no plan.
Garcelle up. You know what? That is the most important point that we'll talk about in a moment. Because Sutton, I don't think Sutton is racist, but you got to know where you come from, and you got to know.
Here's the thing. I feel like Sutton is now woke, but I feel like Sutton, like a lot of white women, have microaggressive tendencies that are just indoctrined in their spirit based on where they come from. So I feel like Sutton moving to California was probably the best move she could have made for her mindset and her intellectual, because now you're in a diverse culture where you have to, coexist. And then just so happens she found a friend in a Black woman, and was able to learn all the necessities of what it is for her Black friend. So I think that for me, because Sutton did say some things that were questionable when she first got on with that crystal shit.
She did.
So I kind of felt like she just is woke now.
I feel like with Sutton and where she's at in Georgia, it seems like the town she's at, it's mostly Black people and white people, which is fine. So what I get from Sutton is slightly different, because she did go to New York and dance and do ballet with companies that I'm familiar with that are actually very diverse. New York is also one of the most diverse places you could go. And when she shares stuff about her past and we look at her friend groups, she's always had friends of color and stuff. But I do think that moving to California also changed some things, because it's very easy to be segregated based on race in New York compared to here. Like, it's very diverse. You see people everywhere, but it doesn't mean that all of these people are congregating together, things like that. California, if you go to a restaurant, you'll see tables of girlfriends. Like, if you go to brunch, of groups of friends of all different shades, colors, backgrounds, ethnicities, things like that. It's not like that everywhere, right? But Shani said New NYC in the house. I forgot you are over there. Oh Lord. But yeah, Sutton definitely got a lot of her mom's energy from her, I would say. But the lady, I didn't like how she treated Garcelle. I didn't like it. And then Garcelle tried to give that bitch a gift, and she still acted a fool.
Go to DM Rock's comment on 732. DM Rock's comment on 732. Scroll up. Where it says the mom regifted the scarf and give it to her.
She regifted the scarf?
Yeah, there's a comment on DM Rock said on there.
I'm not seeing it right now, but she regifted the scarf?
Yes, she regifted. That's what the comment says. She regifted the scarf back to her. I'm assuming to Sutton. On that show, Sutton said her mother gave her the scarf as a Christmas present. See, that's disrespectful.
Wow.
That's disrespectful.
Wow. That's horrible.
Wow. That is horrible. And see, there's no way I would have confessed that to Garcelle. There's no way I would have said that on the after show. Was Garcelle there? I didn't watch the after show. Was she there? And she said it out loud?
Sutton, don't bring your mom on this show no more.
Yeah, don't bring your mom on the show no more.
The best thing to do. Let that racist old bat die in peace. That's what I'll say. Because she older, and she's too old to be this messy, for one. And for two, to re-gift something that your child's friend gave to you to be respectful to your child. is like, that's disrespect. Somehow Reba done found a way to say fuck you to her own child and to Garcelle all in one regift. That's so rude.
Mhm.
That's so rude.
Wow.
If I was Sutton, I would cut her ass off personally, but we're gonna come back to that because the other women are back in Beverly Hills, Dorit, Bose, and Erica, and they all go to Kathy's house. And they discuss the other women in Augusta. And Sutton made it very clear at the beginning of the show this was an intimate trip because of how her mama is. She didn't want everybody around. But the most random thing Kathy said at the table, out of the blue, I was told I'm part Chinese, 3000 BC. What?
Rich people stuff.
What? Like, what do you
Rich
mean?
people problems, rich people stuff, because I didn't even know what the hell she was talking about.
What is 3000 BC, y'all? I'm not educated in that fashion.
3,000, she's saying 3,000 before Christ. So basically, she's saying that she has an ancestry that reaches back 3,000 before Christ of Chinese descent.
You know what?
Kathy, if you don't go somewhere, it's today. If you don't go somewhere, it's today.
This is why Kathy is funny. She's just so random.
I think that's what it was to Abyss they went in. I think she went to a psychic and said, and she just explained it wrong. Yeah, that's why I said she needs to die. I knew what she was saying. I knew what she was saying, but at the
Abyss
end of
Day
the
went
day,
and commented, I think Sutton brung her mother on the show intentionally to out her. I started to believe that as well. And I could see that because Sutton does not seem to want to take the foot off of her own mama's neck. Sutton should have just kept quiet. I would get the whole bar ish or at least $9.99
well,
flowers.
I would have did exactly what Kyle did, not brought shit.
Yeah, I don't know you.
I don't know you, and I was Kyle. Look, I would have been Kyle that entire time, quiet, yes ma'am, no ma'am, all that. I would have been because see, Garcelle better than me. That's all I'm gonna say. Garcelle way better than me because my ass would have
I
been
would have
eating it.
turned to Sutton and said, "You did not prepare me for this. I'm going to go stay at a hotel because she's
Yeah, let
incredibly
me get
rude."
my Uber ready because I'm like, son, let me get my Uber and let me go stay at a hotel because I'm about to get ignorant.
I don't even want to sleep near
I'm about to
nobody
get ignorant.
racist.
I can't even say ignorant. I have to say I'm about to get ignorant.
Lord help us. I think she went to a psychic or a past life, or she did a past life regression, did not explain it. No, I know what she did. I'm sure
I know
that's
what she did. Yeah, we all know what she did. But
she
it's
said
the way
it so
Kathy,
randomly.
Kathy is just too much. I can't take Kathy.
Lord help us. Thank you, Shanny. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How about you want to bet she got scammed out some money? They Googled her, made a mark, and took her money. Lord.
Hell yeah, well, yeah, if it was that easy, shit.
It's
Yes.
typical in South when you come to someone's home to meet them, you bring something, never come empty-handed. That is true. I feel like the South is bigger on those little like
I agree,
values.
but at the same time,
Don't regift it.
yeah,
That's rude.
and don't be disrespectful with my gift in my face. Like it
Mm.
was a gesture, and from what I understand, it was an Hermes scarf, if I'm not mistaken.
Something expensive.
It was expensive. So for me, it was like you could just be nice and just put it in your closet and never use it.
I'd make that bitch go live in the shed. She's doing too much, Reba.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I think Sutton prepared her for it. That's why Garcelle kept laughing. I felt like Garcelle laughed because she was like, "Oh, you really crazy." But some people will laugh also if they're uncomfortable. Some people will laugh to keep
That
themselves
was an
from being
uncomfortable laugh.
shamed. Like
I
Garcelle
don't
did
think
not
Sutton explained it to
speak.
that extent.
I'm
I,
sorry.
I don't think Sutton explained it to that extent. I don't. I don't think I think she said her mother was aggressively rude, and I think that she said it was only towards her because of her life now. I don't think Sutton explained away that, oh, well, when she see black people, be careful because there's going to be a passive aggressive tone she's going to give you, and then there's going to be microaggressions that follow. I don't think Sutton said that to her.
Yeah, a lot of times, unfortunately, even those who are of the white community that are not racist, they cower up and don't know how to speak to people of color about people that they know or who are part of their culture that are racist. So I'm thinking maybe Sutton went through that, but that's not okay. If you're going to have a friend that's of color, I think it's important to be respectful of any friend's culture, their race, and how they're perceived by others, especially in the South. in this damn country.
Agreed.
And they were going to stay in the house. Mama would have had a flashback. Right. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
I
Why
told you, I mean,
can't
I
you?
told you I would have got ignorant. They would have
Sutton,
hung me.
Sutton does come with gifts often, good ones that these heifers
Mm-hmm.
don't deserve. Garcelle says, real quick, what was happening? I don't think Sutton explained the racist part. Yeah, you guys are definitely right.
Mm-hmm.
But we move on to the ladies going to dinner together in Augusta, Garcelle, Kyle, and Sutton. And Sutton is upset about her mom being cold towards her, a lack of showing support. Her mom doesn't express she's proud of her. Sutton, expresses like, I want respect for my mom. And she tells us that when she went through her divorce with her ex-husband, Christian, her mother, instead of being concerned about her daughter and kids, was more concerned about money because they're funding her lifestyle. And in my opinion, Sutton, these are things that you probably didn't need to show us on camera. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, but I think there is a such thing as being too open. The way that she spoke about it and how she got a little snappy, like with Garcelle and Kyle when they were offering advice, you could tell that it triggers her heavily. I don't think she knows how to deal with it. And she was really unhappy to hear from Garcelle that, Sutton didn't like hearing from Garcelle that she's similar to her mom in some ways, because I think that's hard for her to hear because she does know that her mom has these terrible qualities. I think she does know how her mama is, and it's hard to hear then from someone who's been disrespected by your mom that you're similar to her in some ways. So get therapy, Sutton. We don't need you to talk about this on camera no more. We don't need your mama back ever.
Yeah, we don't need her back. And then we also then that needs and what I'm gonna say to Sutton is that you need to pay better attention to what your friends are saying. Because they experience you, especially someone who is close to you like Garcelle. If she's saying she's picking up similarities, then that's things that you need to go to therapy and make an awareness of, hey, my best friend just told me I'm just like my racist and degenerate ass mother. I need that to quit. Like, what awareness do I need to have? And thankfully, because most people don't have this opportunity, thankfully, you were on a television show where you can research at least 3 years of history where you could have seen some of your microaggressions play out on national TV. And you can even do one better as Bravo for the uncuts, for the shit that the public has not seen. So you can change this, Sutton. You don't have to get offended. You can
It
change
could have been a learning experience for a population in the US that I think needs to learn how to approach and discuss people who may be racist, because it seems like a lot of time with my friends that are Caucasian, white, however you want to call it, it's almost like they want me to tell them how to support me as a Black person, which sometimes is okay, but not all the time. I shouldn't have to
it.
tell you how to just treat me
I was
equally.
gonna say no. I might teach you how to treat me, but I'm not gonna tell you how to treat me. If your natural instincts based on my color may come off disrespectful, then we don't need to be associated in any way.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you should
very
see my
true.
color, you should see my gender profile. I am a male. You should see all these things and still love me regardless of those things, and still respect me regardless of those things.
So Dr. Jen commented, no offense, there's nothing going on in Augusta. They would have been better off in Atlanta and doing a collaboration with the ATL girl. Well, a few of them. Cynthia would have been great. Cynthia actually is cool with Sutton and Garcelle, so that could have worked. I actually think that's a smart idea. Don't nobody steal that idea from Dr. Jen without cutting her check, because that's a smart idea. They should do more housewife collabs, honestly,
Well, I
instead
know that Cynthia does that podcast with Crystal, so
of.
I know that she's in LA a lot of the time too. So I don't know. I don't know how that would have worked out, but yeah, that would have been nice to see.
Could have been, because we are a little bored, but we'll see. I agree with this too. She could have done this alone. She didn't need the women there. Bitch Day Winter said it's never okay to teach them. They need to teach themselves and become aware of this stuff that we go through. That is also true.
Mm-hmm.
Augusta has a large Black population. James Brown is from Augusta. It's a really nice place.
No, it's beautiful. I've been. I've been to Augusta. I've been there. But the thing about it is that I, in some ways, knows that there are sometimes microaggressions from white people given to Black people that coexisting is difficult for them to do. Like it, and then what we have an example of this is that Sutton's 82-year-old mother couldn't muster up the comments to say, "Oh, hi, Garcelle. Oh, you're so beautiful. Thank you for coming to Augusta." But she was quick to say it to Kyle. Come
Yeah,
on.
it was very, very rude. But what I will say, I do work with Department of Disability and Aging in my local area. And so I work solely with seniors. Most of the people I work with are over 75. Doesn't matter the color, anyone that's that old, I think it's also a generational thing. Racism, being against LGBTQ rights and things like that was a part of their generation. So you're getting older, but you know, it's just a different way of life that they're used to. And some people adjust and others don't. Dr. Jen talking about, I used to live there, is boring. Augusta used to be Georgia's state capital before Atlanta was. I remember learning that in school, random fact. But yeah, we moved back to the dinner with Bose and Kathy and Dorit. Oh Lord. So Bose decides to mention Kyle being cold and kind of a liar, and she does this to Kathy, and you could tell Kathy was like, "Wait a minute." And she asked Kathy about Kyle's headspace, where she's at, and things of that nature, which I thought was smart. Bose, go straight to the source, go straight to Kathy, because everybody's tired of Kyle. But somehow, because Kathy's just like this, just how Kyle is, you know, she's even cold with me. I don't push her too much. You could tell that Kyle's a spoiled ass brat. She's also a little bit of a bitch, probably to her family involved. As James says, we saw from the limo. And Kathy pretty much said that in a collective way. Bose, move on. This don't even concern you like that. Just move on. Get to know other people in the group. Move around, please. Because you're a little too up Dorit's ass for my liking. But we then somehow end up back on Dorit again, talking about her separation with PK. And production takes a moment to ask Kathy's advice in a confessional on marriage because Kathy has been married forever, since before reality TV existed. So, you know, they try to ask her opinion, and I knew what she was going to say before she said it. Listen, people always go looking towards married people like, how are you still together? How is it working? Do you have any tips? Yes, marriages work, but the work should be in other areas in terms of liking each other, being around each other, having things in common. There's some things that should just have happen naturally. And that's why Kathy was like, we have good time together. They stay in often. They're not the couple that has to be on dinner dates with other couples constantly in the spotlight. They rich as hell and they keep their money to themselves. Sometimes they stay at home. That's why she always has the iPad. You know, it's not, you just got to find someone that you can get along with. So I appreciated Kathy for
Yeah,
saying
big old house. I be at home too.
right.
It's okay. Shit, what the hell? Who we need to go out for? Who we need to go see? You better go to your wing. I go to mine. And I think that's also what I think they have separate wings in their house. That works too. After you've been married for so many years, sometimes you get sick of them. So you create your wing of the house. They have their wing of the house, and sometimes we come together. Sometimes we don't.
She laughing at Kathy calling him PJ because we don't care about PK. A bitch that put it said, remember Kyle had that series on TV based on her family and her sisters did not like it. She put a lot of her family drama in the streets. There's also that documentary on Big Kathy, their mom and their childhood and all of that. Like, it's a lot. They got a lot of drama in their family. They need to
Mm-hmm.
drop suggestions to PK. I wonder if he paid the Bellagio back yet. Wonder. But Dorit is basically spilling more about PK. But it was just hard to take it seriously. Let me just put Kathy go ask in the middle of it before I say what she said. How old is PK? And Dorit says he's 56. And Kathy says, I thought he was 56 when I met him. And she met him years ago off camera. In the words of Bose, black does not crack. That is it. That
I
is it.
thought he was much older than that too. I did not
I
know that
did
that man was
too.
only. I thought that man was at least in his 70s.
Right, because when Dorit came on
He looked
years
he
ago,
looks younger now than he did when he first got here.
that doesn't make sense though, because if he's 56 now and he's older than her, and years ago she was already at a certain age, it doesn't It doesn't make
She was
sense.
like 40 when she started the show. So
Yeah. So I'm like, he's supposed to be much older than you. You're getting close to
yeah,
being
I thought he was
underage.
teenagers as well. Yes, Dr. Jen. That's exactly what I thought too.
He came on as Ken's friend, Ken and Lisa's friend. So, I mean, hell. But Kathy was shady as hell with that comment. It was funny. It was funny. But Dorit's complaints, PK goes weeks without calling the kids while on vacation. And then she works really hard to make the kids think that he's just on a trip and has tried to call the missing calls. She says that he's not a hands on parent. She feels like a single parent often, which is clear to us because the man is constantly out of town, even when things are good. How can you parent if you're always on the go? Um, but I don't know. PK allegedly sent a 7-page email to Dorit about the financials and saying that she would be responsible for all the bills and mortgage. And it looks like he's prepping for divorce. I don't believe if he's prepping for divorce that he would send like the financials, but she said at the end of this email, he was basically like, you need to take over and start paying these bills as of next month or some crazy close timeline. And if you don't, we gonna have a problem legally. He'll go to court and file. So this was a problem. Let me catch this comment before we move forward further. PK had a really big issue with blowing money gambling from the streets. Say he will blow $1 million in the club in one night. Yeah, I believe it. He owes several clubs money, several casinos, several.
Yeah.
And that's how you know they wasn't really rich. I'm just saying. I'm sure he did well, but why are you gambling like that? I don't know what his problem is. But Dorit says that if she has to go to war with PK, she will. And I actually felt like the women actually gave her some good advice. I agreed with Erica. She needs to get a lawyer. The moment somebody sends you a paper saying, here are our financials, take over all the bills, or I'm going to take you to court, it doesn't matter what they're talking about. If someone's threatening you with court, you need to prepare and get an attorney, especially if you have the means and can afford one.
And let me tell you something, out of all people, Erica should know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She actually gave good advice. She gave good advice, and then she brought up the
Yeah,
good point that
we
this
all
man.
see what Erica's going through. So yeah, Doree, it might be wise to look and mirror that situation and take the advice because it was really good advice.
So Erica also explained to her that in California, if you're married more than 10 years, it doesn't matter. The commutative property laws will apply. So the half and half are things that are of value, right? PK is trying to divorce her, it seems like ahead of time. They don't. He definitely does not want you. So I don't understand the issues. I don't understand why Dorit is dragging this on. I know some people, and the point Erica made about him getting half of stuff or Dorit getting half made sense, but he's in so much debt. If she were smart, she would want to run and get a lawyer. She would really want to get a lawyer. PK was just a higher owner. He wasn't really wealthy, investing and saving. I believe it.
I believe it too.
I believe it. They were keeping up with the Joneses. Yep. Erica meant every word. They say Boy George stopped paying that mortgage on Pig. They used to have him on the show season after season, living with them. I wonder what happened. But that's pretty much where the episode ended. James, how do you feel about Doris? Because I'm gonna call her this.
She back to Doris? Okay, we good. She back to Doris. I don't feel sorry for Doris. I don't feel sorry for her at all. I know they're still not divorced yet, so they passed that 10-year mark. So one of them is getting half from somebody. And I pray that she gets half because listen to me. If I had to put up with 10 years, it looked like his breath stink. It looked like he was rude. It looked like, but she was obnoxious, so never mind. Never mind my point. Because I was going to say, damn, she had to put up with a lot, but hell, she was equally just as crazy.
California tends to be fair in court. And if he has a good attorney, he can use this show in some ways against her if he did have something to give her. It's a mess, but she can also use the show against him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm going to say she can very much use his behavior. on the
Yeah,
show. Like they both gonna be. It's gonna be an interesting divorce pattern.
it is.
Mhm.
It is. But I want to actually, it's always sad that someone's going to divorce. However, if you are going to share it, I do think Dorit's doing a good job at being open and sharing things. I do think some of it's calculated, but I also think she's doing a good job. Unfortunately, I do think her and PK will divorce. I think Kyle and Mauricio will get back together and or just never divorce. But for PK and Doris, I definitely think that they will
I feel
break
like
up.
I feel like Kyle and Mauricio is gonna work it out too. I feel like I see that coming.
Yeah.
And that's going to mind blow me a little bit just because I'm like, Kyle, you put us through all this rigmarole just to take that man back that we knew you was going to do in
Yeah,
the first
get
place.
back together and let her ass exit the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then there's nothing interesting. Because we now know that when you go through something, Kyle, you will not share it. So what is your purpose here? It doesn't make sense. She had cigarette breath.
It don't matter. His breath smell like his breath. Looking at them old teeth he used to have and everything, it looked like that breath smelled like coffee, cigarettes, and
She's
everything
trying
else.
to play like she innocent though. She was probably drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes with him just off camera.
Probably. I wouldn't put
Because
it
how
past him.
it does look suspect for me that I keep thinking with Dorit. Now suddenly you guys have all these problems and you can't tolerate him and you're holding him accountable when he's having financial issues. But prior to the financial issues, you didn't care. You'd put up with the rudeness, the obnoxiousness, the disrespect, the traveling. You put up with everything prior to that. So I'm still side eyeing her. She can definitely use his blowing of money and him being out of the country for weeks at a time. I don't see a judge that would do the 50-50 split custody when this isn't even a bi-coastal thing. Like the kid is flying across the country to see the parent. This is a international thing. Like I can't see a judge doing that. Usually judges will put the kid with the most stable parent and the
Mhm.
constant parent. You don't even know if the kids will be fully comfortable around him like that because as she's saying, he don't be around for weeks at a time. Abiste went in. She thinks Mauricio is done, James Jackson.
I think he's having fun. I think he's having the fun he never had.
Preach.
I
I
think
agree.
that I feel like men, there's always a time where men want to excurge and kind of have fun that they did not have. Because mind you, they've been together 30 years. And I
Mm.
think they're just in their mid 50s, if I'm not mistaken. So believe me, that's a lot of time that you've missed out on, marrying in your 20s, not really having your free time, not really having the time to really find yourself. So I think he's just really having fun. I really do. I think he's having fun. But sometimes you realize that the grass isn't always so much green on the other side. And there has to be something in that 30 years that continue to keep you. And I think he'll find it. That's why I feel like they'll be back together. I do. I see
Joey
it.
spoke about it on Buying Beverly Hills. It didn't seem like he wanted the separation, and he did seem to do everything he could for her. But I think that I agree with you wholeheartedly with that. He's like, fuck it. You don't want me. You out here in music videos, kissing chicks, got tabloids following and questioning me. May as well go have his fun and get what he could never get while married. So that definitely makes sense. Beverly Beach scam. Give that lady her money. She ain't got it. She's wearing vintage from her closet
She
versus new.
wearing. I'm telling. She putting out that. She looking. She scattered. She like, ooh, I ain't never wore this on the show. Let me wear this. Oh, stuff. I ain't never. Ooh, let me. Ooh, this will be cute. Let us see what Erica. Let me pull it because I don't think I've ever
She's
worn this.
just pulling everything she bought
Ooh.
before she came on this show.
Yeah,
That's probably exactly what she's doing.
and
But you guys,
some of the stuff she wear is dated as hell. Like, I'm sorry. I was looking at that. There was a thing she had with bows. I was looking at her outfit. I was like, Dorit, that is circa 2008. What is you doing?
she doing what she can afford, and that's the part that makes her disingenuous. You wanted to come on this show as the woman with the glamorous
Mm-hmm.
life, private jets, crazy parties with Boy George there, and now and the outfits was a big thing for her. And we got bored of that. She kept doing it. She should have been saving
Yeah,
that money.
where's that dress line that she had? The one that was supposed
Nothing
to be wedding
Dorit
dress.
starts on this show, she finished. Dorit is like the Toya of
Uh-huh.
this show. For Married to Medicine, she been on this show forever, ain't got shit to show for it other than the check. At least Toya kept her band. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Didn't Poshmark ban Dorit and Erica from sending their luxuries to the company for resale? They did. They did. The money is in the alleged robbers' pockets payment. Damn. But I appreciate all of y'all. I have fun. I appreciate you as well, James. I think the next live you guys will be on James's channel. Naya, Dorito showed us who she was when she smoked and drove down the street.
I'm telling you that I watched that at least 4 times and was laughing. I ain't never seen somebody so stressed out in my life. That was yes, that was excellent. So yeah, I do watch that to get a little TV every now and then.
Funny. Lord Jesus, thank you so much, you guys. I hope everybody has a good night. We'll be on James's channel, I think, for Love and Marriage
Huntsville reunion part 2. Fortunately, it's my partner's birthday this weekend, so I won't have any updates or unpopular opinion videos, but they will be coming back soon. I promise y'all.
Well, happy birthday to
yes.
my gentleman. Happiest of birthdays to you. He probably don't watch my shit, but you know.
He barely watches, girl. Please, he barely watches mine. He said we too shady and messy. He don't get the concept of what we do, so that's why I'm not even gonna explain it.
My husband doesn't either. It's okay as long as they support you. That's all.
Yeah, that's like he'll watch it, but he don't want to feel like why y'all talk about them people like that?
Because listen, hey, why not?
Right.
Lots of birthday wishes. Thug life to all of y'all. Happiest of Thursdays. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll see y'all next time. Love and light.